that's
like
true.
Turkey. No, Turkey has like a few thousands. Not
Yeah,
a lot, a
Russia
few
is
thousands.
it's about 500. I think it was in 2023 or something. Oh yeah, it says there. Figures estimated. I think
Estimated.
Yeah,
Yeah, but for Turkey, for example, it's a few thousands, and here it says 500.
Okay, and the United Kingdom in 2023, I don't think it was 12,000. It was more like 6,000. But I remember it was like tenfold of Russian. It was like 5,000 or 6,000. So yeah, you might be right.
I tell you why I have this problem, because it's comparing like democracy that report and has like visibility to countries that, it's like with the rape thing, you know, how many rapes are in Israel compared to Gaza, okay? In Gaza, 0. And in Israel, X amount, okay? Because we actually report it.
Yeah,
and the fact that they don't, exactly, when you take someone in Iran, they don't like, okay, here is like, go to our website and you can see, like, it's not, they just take you on the street.
PTR.
I'm just checking you have a PTR with the Sephiroths or the Sephiroths, whatever, of Kabbalah. I'll just screenshot it.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've been talking to Nora. I talked to her like extensively last night, and I tried to get her to shoot an apology video for her elevator behavior. And it's like talking to a 10-year-old child who throws tantrums, and don't think I'm going to be able to get her to read a scripted apology onto YouTube, because I'm almost sure, because I was literally on Instagram last night, and sure enough, there's Nora's face pops up from the Chicago Jewish Alliance, and they're saying it's people like this, So I'm like thinking, man, if she writes a comment, reply, she puts together a professional apology video, posts it on Meta, posts it on YouTube, posts it on TikTok, X, etc. Like, holy shit, like it could go viral, and it could maybe change, it could help her, because she's unemployed, and like she needs. That's the problem. She won't. She's like, she's too politically polarized.
Don't really impress us too much anymore. All the condemnation and like the letters and like the apologies and the lip service. No. If she wants to come out and make a man, go volunteer somewhere like in a Jewish center, donate money, write a piece for the newspaper, not like giving a fucking apology. I don't believe it's true. And it will not be viral because none of us will buy it.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah, but that's why it could. Well, I'm just saying, because it's, it can be seen as being insincere. For that alone, it could like make it go viral. I'm not saying like viral. I'm just saying like, but anyways, it's just for her. Anyways, you get the point.
I'm going through your profile photos, Edmund, and you have two of me. One is the number 9 of 40, and the other one is the 13 of 40.
How do you see?
If you click on his profile and then you start swiping, are you following him?
The first one. Yeah,
Because you're not following him.
Okay, hold on.
And he needs to follow you back.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But it's,
The number 9 and the number 13. Did you do this of me? Cook for Thomas?
No, that wasn't me.
Thomas.
Yeah, I did.
I'm just saying, because it's.
Yeah, he's very, like a cock is like a safe or something like that.
Okay.
Cook for Thomas, that's my make America great again, my MAGA hat. And you changed it for Cook for Thomas?
No, I didn't change it. I saw somebody. Somebody had a.
But that is his own. That is his. That's the point.
No, but I thought it was a different profile, but now I see in her picture here, it's a national board of what's her name? Point. Yes. I love it. this dilemma. You're connected. Good.
You want me to talk my
What's
point?
going on with it?
I'm so sick of talking to all these Jews on this app all the time. All they do is think about Jews. They're never thinking about the goys. All they do is think about the Jews, and that's very selfish. And anyways, I gotta get to the television studio because I'm a famous model, and I'll be back.
When he comes into the book room with Point, they all listen to him.
Where are you from?
Well, we're gonna listen.
I'm from Egypt.
Yeah, we're gonna listen to this interview with this Egyptian that I'm sure you know.
You know, Ibrahim is like, he's Coptic like me. He's my Coptic
I
brother.
know his
We should start with the Muslim Brotherhood.
Hell yeah, bro.
I know he's Coptic and he's very good. I discovered him probably like 6 months ago, 10 months ago. The first
And he's like my third cousin of mine.
he actually sounds a little bit like you. And sounds a little bit like
Yeah, that's Coptic Egypt, man.
sounds a little bit like. Do you remember this guy Daniel called he's Nigerian, but he's also Christian. This
Check it out.
no, he's black and he's very annoying.
Bushi.
No,
No.
hold
I
on.
know who you're talking about.
Are you in Egypt now?
No, so I'm right now in the States.
But you were born in Egypt?
Yeah, born and raised. Sometimes I go back.
And you also hate Israel?
Oh, of course. No, I love Israel. I hate Hamas and who some people call Palestine and all that crap.
How come you have this mindset as an Egyptian?
And it's true, I have talked to him before.
No, I'm curious.
Because this fighting the Muslim, this fighting Hamas, which is part of
No, I know this, but when we speak to Egyptians here, at least, they don't share yours.
because they're Muslims.
Because
Because
he's a Christian.
I'm a Christian, right? So they can see.
Yeah.
So yeah, what you'll find is that Egyptian Christians mostly support Israel, whereas Egyptian Muslims support the terrorists, Muslim Brotherhood of Hamas, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, I mean, we Christians in Egypt have been severely persecuted by the Muslim Brotherhood and by these Islamic terrorist groups, right?
Yeah, they relate more to what's happening to Israel.
It's been hope for Egypt.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not many Christians in Egypt.
You know, but I think that the word doesn't speak enough about Muslim Brotherhood. I think that in the last 2 years that we had like discussions here, we hardly ever mentioned the Muslim Brotherhood, which is basically the root of the cancer. And
Muslim Brotherhood was founded by Hassan al-Banna in Egypt, right, in the 1930s. And since then, it assassinated like dozens of people in political power and government offices, right, in Egypt. And they took power in 2012 for 1 year, because until 2015 in Egypt, more secret power was present in Egypt, right, as part of the Muslim Brotherhood. And they brought out, from 2012 up until like today, in those 10 years, they burned 100 churches in Egypt, bombed and burned 100 churches, killed thousands and thousands of Egyptian Christians in Upper Egypt. Kidnapped the still are kidnapping all Coptic girls and women. They're just terrible girls.
in the last decade, you say?
Sorry?
In the last decade?
Yeah, only the last decade, right? Like even before the last decade, they burned so many churches and killed so many people. Just talking only in the last 10 years, they bombed 100 churches. So these are like big time terrorists, right? And the Hamas.
All the protests in the West to save Christians in Egypt and all the condemnations of the UN and all the none of this happened.
And the Muslim Brotherhood is the seed, right, that brought forth all of these other terrorist groups like ISIS,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And no one is like the argument
Well, guess who's
Refraining from Egypt, from Muslim Brotherhood. Yeah.
guess who's married to one of the members of Muslim Brotherhood? Alex Soros is married to Anthony Weiner's ex-wife, Noura, or what's her name? Abedin. What the fuck's her first name? Is it Noura Abedin?
Abigail from the Young Turks.
No, Alex Soros married Anthony Weiner's ex-wife, and her father is one of the founding members of Muslim Brotherhood.
Yeah, man, they're terrible, bro. Hamas is the branch of Muslim Brotherhood.
Wow. So you left Egypt at what age?
18.
With your family or they're still there?
With my family, yeah.
Your direct family, but you still have family there that is not your direct family, right?
Correct.
Or no? Well, you have her in Israel?
Yeah. No, but I really want to go there. I want to visit there. Yeah.
Well, that would make sense for Coptic, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I want to visit the Holy Land. Also, I heard a lot of beautiful stuff about Israel, right? Like other, cities like Tel Aviv and stuff like that, where I want to
Oh, you would love
Yeah, it's a beautiful state.
Israel is a beautiful country. I love it a lot, man. Yeah.
A lot of the natural sites, just like the historic biblical sites, the general historic sites.
They're shocked, exactly like all people are shocked to know that an Egyptian that supports Israel, they don't really have a Coptic Christian. Most Coptic Christians who support Israel, actually.
Interesting. But why is there such? Is that just because of the Arabs and Islam that overran Egypt?
Yeah, and like right at the Muslim Brotherhood of being like a Islamic terrorist group. And
Do they want their own kind of like Coptic state or something, or no?
This is a very interesting point. In the past, so there was actually a movement called the Coptic Nationalist Movement, right? But it quickly got disseminated by the government, right? And they exiled anyone who was like a leader of that group, right?
Okay, fine. Are there whispers of wanting one?
There are whispers. So it's divided because for me, I used to say I want one, right? But now but actually I changed my mind. I said, no, I want all of Egypt because all of Egypt belongs to us, right? Because the people.
You want the entire Egypt? You want like the whole Nile under Coptic control?
Yeah, because it's our land. We're the original indigenous people of Egypt, right? They're the ones who came and conquered the descendants, right? Right. And so
Well, like,
it's our land.
they're also there. Like, what do you want? An apartheid with Coptics set up as the taskmasters on the Arab servants? Gee, I've heard that song before.
Except you know that the Copts, our ancient Egyptians are our ancestors, right?
I know. You guys are related. And then you're like Christians now. And also influenced by the Greeks that came in. Like, you guys have been changed a fair bit. But I'm saying, you want to push away the Arabs that live there now?
No, they can live there, but they have to be under our control.
Uh-huh. Okay, back to the taskmasters.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the goal. That would be the dream. I mean, of course, it's never going to happen, right? It's just like, if you ask me what do I want, that's the dream.
Well, no, because when I say, do you want your own state, I mean, do you want to be self-sufficient as a nation or exist as a respected organization that pre-exists the state it currently needs and relies upon?
Yeah, but I agree with you, except maybe like the dream that I sure would never happen. But maybe like the state, yeah, I would want.
I'm saying that your dream is incomplete until you're dreaming of the Coptic janitors and city planners. You have not dreamed of a Coptic state, right? That was Herzl. Herzl really like just out of his pen, just like spat out a formed state. All the criteria, all the organizations. Go appoint officers for this, that, and the other. Tell them to find people for this, that, and the other. And he was done. He was done for the day. He published it, and the word was written.
Yeah, I make like a lot of similarities between like how people say that Jews are very smart, which is true. Right?
I think the Egyptians have done that for a while.
Yeah, they've done that. Yeah, but the cops are. I actually think they've actually IQ tests where they found that the cops are actually averagely smarter than the Egyptian Muslim, right? They've done that.
Could be. In general, there's a fair argument to be made for communities that maintain their cultural identity, that if they have achieved a position of civilization, complex, developed civil organization, that they can just transfer that skill set into other environments. Those are portable skills, being civil.
You know that the cops, for example, in one of the studies, almost all Jewish orders, right, are owned by the cops, right? The biggest family in Egypt are the billionaires, right? All cops. It's the weird thing, right? They own.
So you think they've got enough money to pull it off?
Yeah, and it's sort of like we own all the the Ministry of Finance in Egypt has always been, they always appoint the cops. Their president, if you give them like a slave for
I heard you get like a nice little jewel of the Nile or something, get some little delta.
Well, I'm just saying, there are, by the way,
Yeah, the Nile's a big damn river, man. Like,
you yourself, the greater Israel wants all of Egypt, right?
all of Egypt? No.
The Nile, right?
Up to the Nile.
He's
There's
in.
an old like
He's in
Abrahamic
denial.
prophecy. But the Abrahamic prophecy, like to be brought, I don't know if that's copied by like Jacob, and it could be argued that some of that portion is to go to the Arabs and the Edomites.
You could also say it's a metaphor. Not many religious people who are so literal remember this thing called metaphor. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I was just
What I'm
quoting.
saying is that Israel is kind of focused on that region for the 12 sons. I think the broader, like, messianic Abrahamic promise from the Euphrates to the Nile, that's more like an Abraham Accords kind of thing. Like everyone having a federated model where they're on the same page, and Israel still gets to exist independently, like New York gets to exist independently among the United States of America.
Yeah.
So, like, I think in terms of the broader promises, that the Abraham, so further back, and other beneficiaries, to me that seems like a federation model, and Israel is a very specific, Jewish-focused recollection of the Abrahamic religion, what they think is important. But they do think that there's a broader concept, and they'll, like, accept Abrahamic monotheism to some degree, but that they won't be, like, strictly under the kingdom of Israel. Or like the bended knee to the same God.
Okay.
And Christianity and Islam, according to many, are like the beginning of the fulfillment of that.
Yeah.
We say that they're all like making mistakes in one way or another, like, this one's idolatry, this one's following a false prophet. But like, they're trying to talk about the God of Abraham. If you ask anyone.
Yeah, but I do hope for a Coptic state, though. I mean, you will see amazing stuff if that happens, right?
But I don't doubt it. I'm kind of pro-states. I feel like any intentional organization of people that's like functional, effective, and good for the world should stick together long enough until it's a state. I'd say that for banks. I'd say that for religions. I'd say that for towns, cities, villages, and rivers.
But the thing is, like, a lot of people will say, like, because a lot of cops don't, of course, they'll disagree with me when I say a lot of cops, because they'll say, no, we belong in Egypt. Egypt is our land, that type of thing. So yeah, you always have that going into the mind.
Okay, so listen, if they have done well, and Egypt, the current structure of it, has been good to them, then they'll feel safe. Until, you never know when there's like a violent uprising and all of your wealth gets traded over to your enemies. It's just a question. It's a question of how well you're navigating and how deep your ties are with the existing sovereignty.
Yeah, I guess I agree.
And like you're right, any kind of move towards statehood could be a good call or the call for destruction. Case by case.
Yeah, and to be honest, I now have to apologize so much to Isabel because we wanted to talk about Raymond Ibrahim and play the recording and so we went on a very big tangent. So I greatly apologize for that.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. Actually, I just watched this interview yesterday and I wanted to watch it I was watching it and I wanted to play it again. And I mean, like, yeah, like whoever wants to listen to it, because it's like this guy is super interesting. He has done so much research and studies, on Islam, and he has written a few books that explain like the whole evolution of Islam that I have never been able to. I mean, he's the person that I have found that really puts things into perspective. He really understands the behaviors, he really understands the history, the eschatology, the spiritual component. He really is able to dissect in detail what is happening right now in the US, and kind of like the relationship between like Jews and Christians and Islam. And I think it's worth having a listen to this guy, because he's, I don't know, I think that the way that I try to always, let's say, explain what I think about Islam is the way that this guy puts it out. But unlike me, he does have a lot of knowledge on history and on details, and he really knows how to verbalize it. And yeah, I think just he's amazing. And yesterday they published this interview with the trigonometry guys. I really like the trigonometry guys, so the conversation is really, really worth listening to. And so I just wanted to share it with people on Clubhouse. I mean, like, of course, you don't have to listen to it, but I would love to play it here in full, the whole interview. And whoever wants to kind of like accompany the listening, maybe we can discuss later. Like right now, I am on the road.
Before you start this, we actually say something for 1 minute. Just describe your things.
Of course, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. First of all, we need to know that something like that would not really be accurate, because when I say the history of Islam, when it is said by non-Muslims, is it going to be the same thing if it is said by a Muslim and someone who studied? I said, please not, please. That's not the one. So each one will talk about something according to his or her perspective. Let's say, for example, why don't you make a debate about what do you think about this? Haters of you will say things, and lovers for you will say other things. So you're the same person. That's number one. Number two, I heard some bullshit yesterday about F Islam, F Muhammad, F Allah, and all these things. I don't think that you would like something like that about your religion, about your backgrounds, about all these things. If you're talking about violence against some specific people, and whom I mean here Jews, what about the violence that took place against the Muslims and mosques? You would say freedom of speech. You will do the same. Would you act with the same? Also, it is the same fucking action, same fucking violence against civilians, against innocent people. So it's not gonna be the same reaction. Meaning you are not objective people, right? Why didn't you talk about the person who was Muslim and trying to prevent and stop this violence which took place 2 days before?
We're not gonna get into it right now. So, listen, I understand that you might feel attacked because of other people's opinion, but I mean, you're more than welcome to stay and listen to the interview. If you have got any comments, then by all means, like say, this is an Egyptian guy that knows Islam inside and out. He has studied the history of it. He has written several books about it. He is actually very knowledgeable in my view, and he can be seen as a scholar. And he understands very well the context, and I think that he is very fair in judging these things objectively.
Of course, you think it's fair because what he's saying is according to your agreements.
This is a good thing about people's agency, Masri, and is that people can listen to different things and then make up their minds as they see fit according to the information they have absorbed. If you want, you're welcome to listen to him so that you see what he's saying, and then you can have an opinion whether it's true or not true. But I don't think that judging someone.
I really don't have time. I'm sorry. Please believe me in that. That means that I don't want to be rude.
Okay, then just say that I cannot listen.
Okay? But at the same time, please, why don't you listen to the same people who are talking about Islam with love or with good? Why don't you listen about the people who converted to Islam, whether they were atheist, Jewish, or Christian? If you are looking for fair and looking for fairness, as we say, I believe that you should do that.
Okay, fine. I will play this. If you don't like it, you're welcome to leave. If you want to join us and share it with us, you're welcome to stay. But I think that you're trying to say that something is objective or objective before you listen to it. I don't think it.
Hey, Issa, I'm sorry, but I just don't have time for this right now. So, anyways,
Okay.
but thank you very little.
Yeah, someone doesn't want to listen. They don't have to listen. I don't understand. What's the issue?
I don't know. If you don't want to listen to it, you don't have to stay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm just gonna let me just see Daniel because he wanted to listen to it.
Oh, Daniel left.
He's in Meepy's room.
Yeah. Huh?
He's in Meepy's room.
In what?
Meepy's room.
He said she was gonna come back, and I said, and I asked her if I could wait a little bit for him to be here, and he said yes. I'm just fine. We're already.
You still have to listen. Those kids are so sad.
Fine. Alright, start playing. Okay. Yeah, because I told him like I want to. Are you guys okay to listen to? I mean, I'm gonna play it, but I just want to know if you're interested.
I'm going to the Dead Sea Caves tomorrow, so I got a couple hours to kill for now. I'm going to bed.
Are you gonna look for new scrolls?
Yes. Yes, actually, I'm gonna go pirate for some new scrolls.
Nice. Ooh, very nice.
Does that thing have got any form of life?
No.
Like zero?
Yeah, nothing can live there.
And you have two of me.
It has like some interesting minerals and maybe some plankton or something, but like no fish or anything. Nothing that we would recognize as life.
Okay, yeah, good. Okay. Well, he's in Bibi's room.
Wait, someone is saying you're a hater of Islam.
Whatever, they can say whatever they want.
By the way, Issa, are you would you get angry if I say that? I tell you that I'm an Islamophobe.
I don't care. You can hate whoever you want to hate.
I don't hate Muslims, but I hate Islam.
Yeah, well, I have a similar position. I think that Islam is a very toxic ideology. Okay, you got about 6 months. Look who's here.
Hello?
Your favorite.
I don't know.
I've been trying to get Nora to create an apology video. What do you think, Diego? I think it's a great move on her behalf.
I told her to deny.
Well, that's because you've never probably apologized for anything.
Here we go.
I really feel that the best thing that could have happened is when I cut my face, but instead of cutting my face, I cut my neck and I died. That would have been the best course of action.
Well, how can you ever hope to achieve anything if your life is what is this, retards in fucking outer space or something? Is this fucking retards in outer space? I think we finally hit the peak of retardation here. Retards in outer space. Anyways, Nora, you're gonna do what you want to do. I'm giving you really good career moves, personal life moves, because like you have to resuscitate your character. Like your reputation has been demolished, and this isn't just projection. This is like strategic communication consulting. I'm telling you, like, I live stream myself 100 hours a week. All communication is hypnosis. And if you put out a sincere apology video, even if it comes off as fake because you're reading from a script, the effect in the brain of the recipients is still the same. So don't discount my advice. I think Diego will agree with me if he heard my arguments. And Diego, we spent over 2 hours yesterday talking about this. So I'm kind of burned out.
Jewish attorney and manager.
Exactly. Because Diego, at the end of the day, you would like Princessia to have a job, right? Working downtown, making a living, having a car, having a social life, going out on dates on a Friday night. I mean, you don't want her to be social? What are you talking about? You want her to sit here and listen to you playing fucking Star Wars? The fuck?
Listening to him playing Star Wars is more, I find, better for my soul.
That's because your soul's retarded, and you have a retarded space cowboy here.
Listen, I'm only, Diego, you know that the reason I'm sad that my face got cut open is because I don't want you to see my face like that. It's not about me. Like, I'm... You know, music, how girls, like, will go out with guys just to get a free meal, just to get, like, food. I can't do stuff like that. That's just never been in my...
Repertoire?
I just am not like that. I cannot hang out with you if I do not like you.
Yeah, well, most people don't want to hang out with somebody that they don't like.
No, girls are willing to go on a date for, like, for free food. Like, you see all
Yeah, but as soon as the meal is over, they're ready to split.
Women tell me that they want to sleep with me, but go out with other guys for free food.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, they're
Diego,
saying that they're looking. Yeah.
you gotta stop the copyrighted music here. You're gonna kill my live stream.
That's so true. It will, like, recognize it. That's hilarious. That's a great way to get him not to see life.
Yeah, that's what the Bitcoin room does. They try to play background music to prevent me from streaming the room.
That they want your love making, but they want other men's money. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is. But they care less about the lovemaking as opposed to the money. They don't really. The lovemaking is like inconsequential to the bird in the nest. The bird in the nest just wants to get fed and
But Diego
cook
just
the
said
eggs.
He's had women saying that they want him to sleep. They want him to sleep with them, but want other men to pay for their meals. He just said that. He's not here.
Oh, I thought it was the opposite. My bad.
Is that what he said?
They're looking for another husband, but they have needs, physical needs.
Yeah, I heard.
But anyway, so John, I don't know that we should be considering doing an apology. I don't know about that.
It's an experiment. Nora, if she puts out a very sincere apology video, everybody's going to criticize it saying it's fake. So it'll be like a viral video, especially with people here on this app. They will fucking hate hearing Nora issue a sincere apology. Not hate, but they will distrust it. So it's an experiment.
But what I'm saying, John, is that she doesn't even understand what character trait description of Arya is.
Well, anyways, I'm gonna have to bounce. I can't play this copyrighted Spielberg music. I apologize. Well, that's because he's a co-producer over here, you know? And he thinks he's in the running for Anti-Semite of the Year. The guy is fucking
John, like I said, if I did not have this thing on my face that's really making me self-conscious, I would like put on a little bit of makeup and I would do this video. At least I would make a video and send it to Diego and see what he thinks. And if he says it's okay, I would post it. But there's no way after I read all the comments that I read yesterday that there's any benefit. Like people hate me no matter what.
I know, but this is the point. That's the point. That's okay. You're gonna get mocked. Believe me, I know. Every single comment is you bald asshole. Believe me. Mockery is part of communication. Mockery comes with the video. But I'm just telling you, like, see, Diego, I was on Instagram yesterday, and sure enough, look at my PTR. Look at my PTR. That's Nora on my feed in 2025 in December, still showing up. Her video gets millions and millions all around the world. And so she's floating. People know who she is. And so what I'm saying is, if she released a professional, in a business-like way video of a succinct and sincere apology, it would really help her life. It would help her psychology. Because even if people leave mockery comments, that's still her verifying her existence, her identity. That people will gossip and lash and hara her and attack her. That gives her the truth, like people are nasty, but she's trying to be a professional and to be polite. This is what I would call
She's nasty too.
Yeah, she's nasty too, but I would call this reintroducing nice Nora back into polite society. That's the strategy. Because again, polite society is the goal here. She has been excommunicated from polite society. She can't get a job because of that video.
I'm gonna help you, but first, let's do the building blocks. Go ahead, Nora. Read to him what happened.
Okay, hold on. I was putting on eyeliner to try to feel a little bit better.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty.
You guys are also live, by the way, in the Rotten Corey Bank. I'm making a deposit here.
Where do you want
Is that copyrighted music? I apologize.
It's his voice.
There you go.
Diego, where do you want me to read from? Because you already read most of this.
From the top of it. He hasn't heard it.
Okay.
Oh, good. I found a good mall. Thank God.
Oh. I'm putting on my liquid eyeliner.
They say there's no coercion, like they call it the dean, which means there's no, literally, you can't be coerced in matters of religion. And like I said, you have your religion, I have mine. So he was preaching that when he was leaking out numbers because he had.
And if so, tell me what it means when a person describes the character of another person. A single year can be sufficient to describe an aspect of a person's character depending on the nature, consistency, and context of the conduct observed during that period. Character is not a snapshot of isolated acts, but an inference drawn from patterns of behavior or conduct over years, repeated, voluntary, and responsive to similar circumstances. It may be reasonably treated as probative of character. By contrast, when the year reflects atypical stressors, transient rules, or constrained circumstances, its descriptive value is limited. When a person describes the character of another, they are making a generalized attribution about the person's enduring traits, such as honesty, reliability, judgment, or temperament. Based on observed behavior over time, this is an act of abstraction. Specific actions are aggregated and translated into a claim about how that person is likely to act in the future or across situations. Such descriptions are inherently normative and probabilistic, not factual in the sense of discrete events, and their reliability depends on the observer's proximity, duration of observation, stability of the conditions under which the conduct occurred. Now Diego says, now explain to me briefly why it is important to employ significant events throughout a year as a way of determining or describing someone's character as opposed to using mundane and uneventful situations in everyday life to describe
I'm gonna slow down. Learn how to read, please. I don't know if is John following?
I am here. I am listening. And as you said, she is reading rather fast, but this is not an apology. See, Nora, I'm done, consulting on this. I've really given you my best work, and I don't think you've taken any notes. I don't think you even remember what I said to you. And this is not business professional. Diego is a businessman. And you are not being like a good secretary, aka a businesswoman. So I can only go so far with you before I have to say goodbye.
You see what I'm talking about? This is what I'm talking about. This is the disrespect. She's trying to help herself. She's getting helped by it.
How are we being disrespectful right now? Is there Ritz and Buzz?
All of it.
I don't know, Diego. I love you even if you're mean to me.
I'm the mean one. See, this is how they turn it around, John. She's actually disrespecting you and me, but we're the mean
Well,
ones.
see, the thing is, this isn't.
I would never disrespect you, Diego, and I don't feel like I'm disrespecting music.
Yeah, this isn't like attack Nora. This is more like, what's John's optimal decision-making process here? Do I continue to listen? Do I go on about my life and say, I don't, these are just voices on a fucking cell phone? You know, like, I don't know where you live, who you are, what your real identity. I don't know anything about you. This is totally decentralized communication. But the point is, like, to attack Nora isn't even gonna, like, it's not gonna help. All we can do is try to implant neural words, language into her brain to hopefully say, so she can recall it. But Nora, we're trying to encourage you to take notes so you can refer to our to-do list for you. So you can say, you know what? I will do that. I will do that. I will do that.
But guys, even when it was describing character, it says that it's not based on, what does it say? Character is not a snapshot of isolated acts, but an inference drawn from patterns of behavior. So what happened in New York was an isolated act, Diego.
No. How many times have you been in a jail cell?
Twice. Well, 3 times with New York, 3 times with New York.
But see, Diego, my point, Diego, my point here is we really have to remember the video in my PTR, because that video
That's what he's talking about. That's literally what Diego's talking about.
I get it, but you have to understand my idea for you in terms of your communication strategy is a response video, professional, in a suit, almost as if you were submitting a video resume. Because I have personally apologized to extremely powerful people, and they wanted me back in the fold.
You want me to send it to the ABL?
No, I want you to post it publicly on all your profiles, and then we're gonna start submitting it, and we're gonna get all these Jewish Instagrams. They will probably post it, because if you post a very sincere message, an apology, to the Jewish community, they will love it, because you'll be giving them the content that they're looking for, which is contentment. Contentment, Princess. Hold on. You can say the word with me. Contentment. Say it. Contentment. Contentment. What does contentment mean?
They don't care about my people.
Stay focused here.
She doesn't want to put in the hard work.
She doesn't want to put in any fucking work. She wants to come on here and do no fucking work. And she confirmed it last night. She's doing nothing. She does nothing. She's all talk. But the thing is, Nora, that's okay if you want to be all talk. But you got to create videos and put them out there in a professional way. It will help you so much, because your psychology is fucked. Your psychology is fucked, Nora. You are codependent on some fucking black and white photo of some Spanish telenovela movie star. Some guy who's already got... Jesus, Diego, you gotta get this girl to basically send you book reports. Otherwise, you're wasting her time. You're not her real boss. She's your fucking boss.
Good Lord.
I can't help my own attachment to Diego.
So what's the next question in the thing?
Yeah. It was, now explain to me briefly why It is important to employ significant events throughout a year as a way of determining or describing someone's character, as opposed to using mundane, uneventful situations in everyday life to describe that person's character. Significant events are probative of character because they impose choice, pressure, and consequence. They require the individual to act when preferences conflict, costs are real, and outcomes matter. Conduct in such circumstances reveals priorities, judgment, and values with greater clarity than routine behavior, which is often habitual, constrained, or socially scripted. Mundane, uneventful situations tend to reflect compliance with norms rather than character. They offer limited insight because little is at stake and deviation is neither tested nor necessary. By contrast, significant events concentrate decision-making and expose how a person responds to risk, adversity, responsibility, or opportunity. For that reason, they provide a more reliable basis for drawing character inferences than ordinary low-stakes daily conduct. When speaking about someone's character, and this is now Diego asking, when speaking about someone's character and trying to develop a picture of that person's character, why is it not appropriate to discuss their personal beliefs, but rather rely on factual events that can be documented? GPT says, personal beliefs are not an appropriate basis for describing character because they are internal, unverifiable, and often disconnected from conduct. Beliefs may be aspirational, situational, or rhetorical, and they do not reliably predict how a person will act when faced with real consequences or choices. As such, they provide no objective anchor for assessing character. Factual events, by contrast, are observable, documentable, and capable of independent verification. They reflect how a person actually exercised judgment, assumed responsibility, or responded to an obligation. Character as a descriptive construct is properly inferred from conduct that's demonstrated in concrete circumstances, not from stated beliefs or self-descriptions, which may be inconsistent with behavior or influenced by self-interest, hindsight, or narrative framing. He asks, for starters, a person who's faced with significant events that are documented and turns to defenses that involve belief as a starting trait of a person's character, what insight does that give you? GPT. It suggests that a person is trying to shift the evaluation from verifiable conduct to subjective interpretation, using, quote, belief, end quote, as a starting point functions as framing device. It asks the listener to excuse, rationalize, or recast documented events through an internal narrative that cannot be independently tested. That move can indicate, 1, weak confidence that the documented facts will be viewed favorably on their terms, 2, an effort to control the characterization of intent by substituting asserted mindset for observable choices, and or 3, a preference for persuasion by identity or ideology rather than accountability to record evidence. It is not proof of bad character by itself.
Slower so that John can understand.
Okay, it is not proof of bad character by itself, but it is meaningful as to the advocate's strategy and the reliability of the characterization being offered. He says, let's begin with the first significant event of the year for the person that we're trying to build a character description for. We will, of course, tease out more information.
All right, hold on. Take a break. How much longer is this? Hello?
Pretty long.
It's very long.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's 12:44 here. We don't have all afternoon to spend listening to you read this without actually comprehending what we're even listening to. Because to me, it just sounds like I'm not paying attention and I'm doing things over here. So she's a good reader, Diego. What are you talking about, dude? You're the terrible reader. You're probably projecting.
I wrote all the questions and I'm starting to get numb. I'm starting to not understand what the conversation.
Well, then let's just take the deepest breath of the day and hold it for 10 seconds.
Diego, you can insult me. You can say whatever you like. It's not going to change how I feel, so you can try another.
Diego, you do realize you're talking with a girl who repeats herself 500 times a day. Princessia, I've never met somebody.
I don't do that with Diego, bro.
You just did it. You just did it. What did you just say?
If I say it, I'll be repeating.
You don't even know what the fuck you just said.
I said nothing he says will change how I feel about it.
Exactly. You repeat that kind of shit over and over and over and over and over. You have a toxic, codependent relationship with a fucking chat app. You know, Diego's technically at this point a fucking AI chatbot because talking to somebody over the phone, anyways, it's not real. It's just, see, what I'm saying is this is the laziest.
That we once had. I hold on to the realness that we once had.
Well, that's because an orgasm implants a very powerful connection. It's true. It's true. But the thing is, this is the laziest.
Are you saying that Diego gave me an orgasm?
I don't know if he's that good. The whole point is, this is the laziest form of conversation, and thus you are worthy of being mocked. Okay? This is so stupid and so unprofessional and so pointless. There's no business purpose to this. We're trying. It's not mean. We're trying to fucking make you a winner. We're trying to make you a player. You know that song, Girls, because girls are players too. You see what I'm saying? We don't want you to be some fucking loser here because eventually this will collapse and you'll have nothing. We're trying to help you get something out of this. Do you get it? That's why shooting your apology video is your first step. You're not a loser if you do what we tell you to do. Then you're a fucking winner, but you don't have the experience that we do. Diego and I have both together have a lot of experience. We're giving you communication consulting advice. If you do it, you're a winner.
What makes me a winner is if Diego loves me back. That's what will make me a winner.
Wait, let me hit the bell for repetition. Point of moderation. This is the whole thing. You're not a moderator in here, you know, and you don't care whether you're a moderator as long as you're in the presence of your Don Diego. But listen, trust me, record that ChatGPT apology video and post it, and then send me the link. And then we're going to create a room on Clownhouse called Nora Apologizes to Jewish Clubhouse.
Honestly.
And then we're going to pin your video, and we're going to get...
The person that I really need to apologize to, because the person that got affected the most is Diego.
Well, I already talked to Daniel just a minute ago, and he said Nora refuses to apologize. How can she shoot an apology video if she doesn't actually want to apologize? And I was like, that could be true. But remember, because you're reading a script, people are going to question whether it's sincere. But anyways, Nora, I don't want to repeat myself about this anymore, so I look forward to you creating an apology video, a professional video, like get dressed up, put a suit on, look good, get good lighting, and record like a 1 minute and a 3 minute apology video and post it.
I'm 90 years old.
That's okay. That's okay. If you don't do it and you just keep coming here, you really are a fly. You are caught in a web. You don't want to fly. You want to be free. You want the good life, do you not?
I mean, I wanted Diego in that room. That was why I did it in New York.
Well, you know, do you realize desire is the root of suffering? And so you won't stop suffering until you let go of your desire. I mean, Diego, you do agree, right? Like you want to set this bird free, no? Well, he just said the other day that you guys are in a disentangled previous relationship, meaning you guys are separate, but you keep holding on, and that's why you have, you know, the suffering.
So you think Diego's making me suffer?
You're making yourself suffer, but he's not really helping you, and he's not being very nice about it.
I think he can.
It's my opinion, but anyways, you know, it's your life. You will do what you want to do, and you will say what you want to say. But what's the difference between doing and saying?
I've been told that what was his name is now.
Who? Rod?
Music.
Rod Corey?
So you're saying that like they call him Rudy? Is that why you say call me Rudy?
Why do you think Rod sounds like Rudy?
I mean, I can see like how the Arabs would say that, so I wish I had figured it out.
Listen, I can't go into detail about why Rudy's funny, but Khalid would not like me saying Rudy as well.
I think I heard this joke already.
You
Anyways,
said his name was live.
Rudolph, we are trying to get Nora to shoot an apology video for her elevator video because she has gone viral so much and so many millions of people have seen her elevator fist pumping, you know, where she's got her big finger out and she's like doing her fucking, you know, death, like, you know, when women start talking with
I
their
can't
finger.
do it because I don't want them to mock me more because of how bad I look. Like, I look worse than the elevator.
No, you gotta get yourself all glammed up and then double down and then start a podcast career.
I would have done that had I not injured my face, but now that my face is injured, like, I think that was God's sign telling me to go disappear.
No, that's not God telling you. That's God telling you that you got to start paying more attention to where you're walking. And, you know, where you're walking is where you're talking. And right here, you're talking to a bunch of strokers, like the auto diagnostician. You don't even fix cars. You just plug it right in and you say, this is what's wrong with your car. I got to get back to Clubhouse.
No, that's not true. I fixed it as well.
I never heard you. I never ever heard you fix shit on this fucking website. I never heard you work once on this fucking app. You're always talking about something. You're always in your car.
I'm driving. But why would I be off mute with like doing my work? That'd be weird.
No,
Do you think my
just
love of
doing
Diego's
this.
in vain? My love for Diego's in vain.
Oh yeah, you just said the truth.
Possibly.
See, Nora, we want you to take action and do shit. We don't want you talking. Here, wasting your time here. For long.
Well, I'm currently trying to do my hair, so I'm doing stuff. I put on eyeliner and I'm trying to do my hair. I'm trying not to fixate on this thing on my face. So I'm trying to get myself together.
I got it. Keegan, what are you doing today?
Right now I'm driving to go fix an active grill shutter on a Volkswagen. So that's what I'm about to do.
You know, Diego here thinks that he's in the contention for being the #1 anti-Semite of the year. Do you think you're in the top 10? How do you feel about that?
No, I put my vote in on Miss Rachel. I think Miss Rachel is a horrible, disgusting human being. And I vote her every single day of the week. So it doesn't matter if I'm even close to top 10. #1, Miss Rachel. How dare she have a child who had their arm and leg blown off by Israel on her platform?
Yeah.
The nerve of the woman.
Miss Rachel's sick. What a sicko.
I was really disappointed in Elle was she said about Miss Rachel. That was so sad.
What did Elle say? She said that woman deserves to die.
She basically said that she is using her platform for political reasons, putting a known Hamas supporter who's not a Hamas supporter, and also attacked how she looks. And I thought that was pretty low.
The woman who weighed over 250 pounds and then lost 70 pounds or 80 pounds in 3 months is saying how someone else looks. I mean,
I didn't know Elle was overweight.
She was overweight, and then she said she lost all the weight in 3 or 6 months. Well, I don't know about you. I've watched someone who was overweight lose a lot of weight, and then what they looked like afterwards was this little floppy, they had bat wings, and you don't want them to ever take their shirt off because it's grosser than them being fat. You know, I don't know how much she should be speaking.
Why would she openly tell that about herself? I'm confused.
Well, I don't think she was realizing what she was saying, but she was one time, she was talking about how she on a weight loss journey. She's yeah, I used to weigh a lot, and she's and that's why I think guys were. She's I was asking her about she's going through a health phase, and she's pretty much saying she's going through the health phase because she was fat, and she couldn't go through the health phase while being fat, which is also a lie. She probably had a little bit fat, but she was dating a guy she liked.
But she said that she was like 200 something pounds, and she lost like 60 pounds
Well, I'm just saying.
in 3 months.
It's
And
If she was really, I mean, I've never been over something like that. But if she was really, really young, if she could have lost the weight and it not affected her. Like if she was in her teens, she could have lost it.
no, she lost the last like 2 years. Like she was fat.
That explains so much.
Exactly. I've asked her for her fat pictures and she won't send them to me. I don't need to see the after pictures. I just want the before ones.
I mean, I'm very cautious of like talking about how people look even before I got injured, but especially after I got injured. So I'm not gonna say anything. Even though I said some mean stuff about Lisa, what's wrong with me?
That fat guatemala.
You do know what you're doing.
I was erasing my messages and I read it. Like I was erasing my tweets and I read what I wrote.
Are you in the truth, Lisa?
yeah, I got no problem with anybody on this app. I mean, there are some people on here that I talk to everybody. I just talked to Issa just a fucking 5 minutes ago, and I was explaining how I spent 2 hours trying to get Nora to create an apology video, and they just laughed it off, saying that you were incapable of doing it. And I, beginning to think, I might be spinning my wheels over here. Ranks, welcome to the room, Ranks.
My biggest mistake that I made is I internalized a lot of the things that people say on Clubhouse to me, not about me. I just internalized everything. So my goal now is to not internalize things, just to let it go. And to have
Yeah, let it go.
You need to externalize them.
That's the video in New York.
Music. Next time you see Issa, say, I'm Black Rudolph.
Okay, I'll tell her.
Wow, we're both blocked by the same people.
Listen, she literally was like, here's the Nazi on the stage, and then I called her fat. And I was like, and then she blocked me. I was like, bro, you can call me a Nazi, but I can't say you're fat?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Did you tell her you're just a mechanic?
What?
Did you tell her you were just a mechanic and that you're actually fat and projecting?
Exactly. I was like, I'm the fat one. Like, listen, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Let's all be fat together.
I think being fat is good. I don't think it's bad.
Well,
It's a science trick.
I think it means that you have access to food. I mean,
Listen.
Rudolph.
Sign of strength that Issa is the strongest one out of all of us.
Rudolph, let me ask you a question.
well, it's just fat.
Rudolph, let me ask you a question.
I don't think it's fat.
In terms of
Okay, go ahead.
group psychology and priority for if you're Make America First, do you think that if you can speak native English as if you're a native born person, you should receive priority in terms of fiscal spending and priorities nationally? Because technically, I don't care what you look like. I only care what you sound like.
I mean, would you include ebonics in this?
If you believe that ADOS, or even FBA, foundational B, if you think that, because my grandparents only came here 1900, but some of those people were here from the fucking beginning, from late 1700s. So do they have a greater birth rate than you? I would say the now is all important. And so if you want to do the history hypnosis lesson, you deny the fact that we all share the same present moment, and you're not entitled to anything that I'm not entitled to right now. So the reparations argument is anti-philosophical. Anyways. I'm just saying, to me, how you sound is important. But like, you can't necessarily discount an FBA because they speak ghetto.
You ran away.
It's just a theory. It's just a theory. Okay, Nora, I really hope you take my advice, but I can't spend any more time working on this with you. Surprise me and delight me, and you will see miracles happen in your life. You like miracles, right?
Dude, I don't think you understand how. You already know what I'm gonna say, so I'm not gonna say it.
Hello?
Can you not hear me?
No, you caught yourself. You were about to repeat yourself, so congratulations. That was a good move on your behalf.
Thanks.
Nice job.
My hair straightener's not working.
You're progressing.
It's like, it's not straightening my hair very nicely. I need to get a different one. But I don't have any because it's not working.
Yep.
It's with all point.
See, we're trying to solve your problems one iron curler at a time. One curl at a time. But you know, it won't. Nothing will ever change fast enough for you unless you issue this apology video, because it could become financially successful for you because it'll lead to other videos. But you just have to be willing.
I have a podcast named Scarface.
Yeah. You're already. You are technically the female Arab Andrew Meyer. This is your "Don't Taste Me, Bro" moment. And Andrew Meyer has had 20,000 X followers until they deplatformed him.
I just really want to live vicariously through me.
No, I want to see if my experiment works for you. It's all experimental. But if you don't want to play the game, well, then you can just sit on the sidelines. It's your choice.
Like I said, I would have rather it slit my neck.
Yeah, we've heard that one before. Let me hit the bell. I think I've heard that one probably 50 times now. Yeah, Andrew Meyer is still kicked off of X.
He can't make other accounts either. They get banned.
He can. He's too stupid to figure out why. Do you know?
No.
What about Hamabdil? This is called Hamabdil, a very famous song from the 1920s by the cantor Rosenblatt, the most famous Jewish singer of all time. Oh my God, you are so neurally linked to Diego here. He has programmed you so much that like the moment he leaves, you just like your brain is like, no, my neurosynaptic connection with Diego is gone. I'm making fun of it, but I want you to recognize it and be like, he's fucking right. Like my brain's fucked up. He got me fucked up. No, meaning that like you're not in control of your brain. Your brain is in control of you. Like there's this subconscious brain which you have like no control over, and like to not control it is like not smart. You know, I'm trying to get you to be more aware. This is like mindfulness training. Very mean, make fun of you mindfulness training, but it does have a purpose.
Kitover says I'm neurally linked to you.
Yeah, it's called entangled. Can you explain that?
Diego,
But I thought I detangled myself because entanglement is a negative thing. I just accept it for what it is. Like I don't have any expectations. I just feel the way I feel. So
We're like very close to being released, but if you are disappointed, maybe you're just a self-sabotager.
I do self-sabotage 100%. But I also I don't want you to see me looking like a crazy person with a disfigurement in the face. I'm sad.
see, this is where like the cutesy bootsy girl who cried wolf comes out, and you guys are actually totally disentangled. But do you guys have anybody else to even talk to at this point?
Just you, bro.
Yeah, that's a lot of people to talk to. I do too. I just don't want to talk to them.
See, Princessia, you're like playing this cool role, like you're a cool person, but we know truth and we know fiction, and so I'm just saying, like you sound.
Person in general.
Well, we want you to be a player. You know, girls are players too, but you're not taking our advice. You're resisting our advice, and your game is up. Like your game isn't going to be able to get played much longer. Like Diego probably won't play this game with you much longer. I'm not going to play the game with you longer. Maybe I'll come back, and 6 months from now, you guys will still be doing it. But I doubt it. I fucking doubt it, because this is like a house that has already collapsed and fallen into a fucking sinkhole over here.
It hasn't even started.
I feel like the guy from the Green Mile.
I mean,
I watched the Green Mile. I don't remember.
Princessia, you went to New York to meet Diego. Instead, you ended up going fucking globally viral, screaming out infatadas. So I'm just telling you, your house has already sunk. I'm trying to help you get the fuck out of the hole that you and Diego have created for you, because this has impacted your life significantly. And Diego, if you would agree with me, the fact that she is now known online, her name comes up with that fucking video. Diego, you tell me, is this girl employable?
Diego, my love. Diego. Where art thou? Thou art on mute. trying to get myself together so I can launch something to try to make a video. So I ended up trying.
Okay, remember what Yoda said to young Skywalker? He said, "No trying, only do."
You know who told me that?
Diego.
My analytical chemistry professor.
Oh wow.
I was in his office hours and he says there's no try, there's only do. Dr. O'Reilly.
Because I'm not there to be a babysitter. I get shit for being in here. I don't correct anybody in here if they go on racist rants. It's not that it
I'm so hungry.
Jeez. I don't know.
Diego, what you end up eating?
Right?
Wonderful time. Diego. Really don't want to put on lipstick, so I'm trying to just put Vaseline. I mean, all the time.
Cole, he's my miracle child. So how does your miracle child get cancer?
Give the St. Jude all your money right now.
This is not getting your stuff. I thought you said you can't play music like this. It's not going to be your copyright infringement.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go blonde. What do you think?
I think you should shoot the apology video as
I'm doing
naturally
my
as
hair,
possible.
bro. I'm straightening my hair.
I hear you, but I don't want to I've already given you enough free consultations. I get paid.
I think I should have my hair go like a golden brown. Like, I think that would be a pretty color, a golden brown.
Mhm.
Anything to take attention away from my face.
Alright, I'm gonna play the rest of the answers on UPT by pressing the speaker button.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Because UPT's a better reader. Has a more. It's a better cadence.
I'm working on it, Diego. One day I will please you. Okay, let's see. Do you want it to be where I left off, or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Okay, just opened it. I'm trying to open it. Why wouldn't it open? Text. ChatGPT. I don't know why I click on it, it doesn't open. From my laptop. Oh, there it is, just opened. Okay. This person is listening to this analysis. So what you're saying is she didn't like what she'd like to be specifically convicted. Trying to find. Okay, there we go. And how do I get it to play, Diego?
You press the speaker button at the end of the response.
That's for me to speak. How do I get it to just say it? Speech. Start speaking. Begin.
No. Jesus Christ. At the end of every response, there's a thumbs up, there's a thumbs down, and there's a speaker button.
Not when I open it. In ChatGPT, I don't have that option. Legacy models. I'm so sorry, Diego. I do not have that option when I open it from your link. I only have like the message chat GPT, the mic, and this other one, but not like the thumbs up option for me. And I do have it open in the chat GPT 5.2. Can I try to read it and try to do a better cadence?
No.
Okay. Let me just highlight it and then have it speak.
No, please.
Okay. Do you want me to screenshot it too so you can see that I don't have it?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. Hit Command 3. Command 3.
you just sent to me as
So we send those too big and not like another thing. Maybe if I do it on my phone instead of my laptop.
no. You're looking for that. I
This
just
or
opened
that.
what you sent me.
This or that.
A long time ago, there was a lot of people. Well, that was a long time ago.
Hello?
How do I get this conversation to play?
All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna have to get back to work here. So,
You see that? You wasted time. Now he's leaving.
Diego, Nora, it's been fun. I'm willing to do a little work with you. I have to read from a book. I know both of you probably are unfamiliar with what the fuck a book is because you fucking retards have spent years never looking at them. But I'm gonna do a little work here right now because I gotta do what I gotta do. And you guys are fucking strokers who waste all your time talking about nothing. It's
Let
pathetic.
me try to do this, John. Don't leave, so you can hear it.
Oh no, I'm just gonna talk right over you. All right, in the United States District Court, Southern District of Florida, United States of America versus John Doe criminal complaint. I, John Kitover, being duly sworn, depose and say, I am a former U.S. Army intelligence officer with knowledge of the investigation. Based on released Epstein files dated December 2025, evidence shows defendant engaged in sex trafficking under 18 U.S.C. 1591. Violation 18 U.S.C. 1591, sworn to before me this day, 15th of December, 2025. Approved by Pam Bondi and Cash Patel. Hello?
John, can you tell me why I don't see the thing that Diego's telling me to see on the ChatGPT?
I'm sorry, I don't use ChatGPT, I use Grok, the superior AI engine.
I know you're frustrated with me right now, Diego, but I promise I don't see that option on my ChatGPT.
Can you screenshot to confirm that promise? Hello?
Yeah.
Anyways, Diego, what's it been like working for Nora all these years?
Obnoxious.
Fucking obnoxious, huh?
She knows all I want is for us to play and keep like the show from having dead air, but she's like committed to having dead air.
Yeah. Nora, yeah. Are you listening, Nora? Take notes.
It's like she doesn't do anything to in the hours and hours that she's just lying there. He doesn't stop and go, hey, let me try to anticipate kind of requests that he's gonna do based on regular patterns of the way we act every day.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll just know how to do this so that when he says, hey, go ahead and do this, he doesn't have to stop.
Okay, wait, Diego, hold on. Diego, let me just quickly end this debate for you and tell you what you should be. No, this is a debate. I'm gonna tell you, Diego, what you should be telling your dog Nora. Are you listening, Diego? You just have her read from scripts. What is the point of engaging with a brain that is failing? Just make the brain read a script. Otherwise, it's going to be the same fucking tomato soup every single time. I've already confirmed it, Nora. You're incapable of following instructions, and you don't participate. You're impossible to work with. If you were on a casting call right now or on a stage, I would have you removed from the building because you can't follow instructions. But you're not. You're on a stage. You're on.
Not very nice.
Oh, well, I meant to say Diego is the dog and you are his master.
No, he's not. He's not a dog, and I'm definitely not his master.
Well, then you're his dog and you're his master, and I was right. Again, Nora, you're impossible to work with, and we've confirmed it at least 1,000 fucking times, and there's no more debate about it. You're incapable of actually doing anything.
I'm sorry.
Well, you don't have to apologize to me. Nora, don't you get it? I've spent days consulting with you for free. You've never fucking taken one note. You're never gonna make it. I'm trying to help you. You've got to start fucking taking notes on what to do.
We will, but she'll start at around 55.
It'll be too late by then. You'll never have lived life. We're trying to make you a player. Because girls are players too.
You obviously referred to me more and more that it should have been my neck instead of my face.
Alright, I gotta hit the bell again. Okay, I think that was the 1500th time you made a suicidal ideation. Just to put it down in the notes, I gotta send it to the psychiatrist. Please hold.
I thought the suicide hotline. I can't help it. I do have suicidal ideation sometimes.
What I don't get is that is it better to ruminate over suicide than to just like take a note like the man is asking you to? Why is that the preferable thing? I don't get it.
It's like Diego. Do you know what Diego? Do you know what trichinosis is?
Trichinosis?
Yeah, look it
It
up.
has something to do with hair.
Yeah, you pull your hair out. It's the same thing. She's basically has OCD. This is her way of exhibiting OCD because it produces the dopamine when she says the statement. The response, the people who respond to her "Girl Who Cried Wolf" statement is what gives her the dopamine feedback.
I say it after the fact. Like, I would never say it in the moment when I'm feeling suicidal, that I'm feeling suicidal. Like, I need the help that I need, and then I say it after the fact. Sorry, to be for this plane at this retarded. My chat GPT where you say there's like a thumbs up and stuff like that.
You've got the power of AI at your fingertips.
Because my chat GPT does have that, but the link that you sent to me, like whenever I open my links, like I can do it.
So why don't you just copy and paste the language and tell the ChatGPT to read it to you?
Okay, I will.
But I didn't want to have to say that because that's so obvious that it hurts my brain.
I'm sorry. I'm not helping you. Pretty acknowledge that. Like, I'm stupid. Like, already acknowledge
No,
that.
you're not. You're lazy. There's a difference.
Depression.
Laziness. Depression becomes a laziness.
This is Nora. This is the conclusion that I have come. Unless you're creating videos, you are really doing nothing. And this is really why I keep encouraging you to create a video. And I told this to Zach De La Ruta.
I would if my face wasn't like this, but this is how my face is. I'm not going to do it.
You got to understand, your brain is going to rot if you don't start doing, taking our suggestions. Diego, would you agree that based on the way that things are trending in terms of your house and the communication that's taking place here, I mean, how do you, as a strategist, evaluate this situation here?
It's okay. I couldn't.
No, we're not being mean, Nora. Nora, I'm not gonna be mean to you. The only proof is in the pudding, and the only proof is videos. Until you can show me a video you've created,
I had another video in August and I posted on Twitter.
All right, well, I've spent 2 days now trying to get you to create a video, and my consultation at the end of this bell is now officially complete.
I feel electricity.
The hanged man, keywords, congealed, end of a situation or relationship which is stuck, letting go, giving up, surrendering, learning to see in a new way, the necessity
Like the good secretaries
of
are the ones that like
old
you
behavior
feel like, oh my
patterns.
god.
The hanged man is nailed upside down, position in which the person
Like liar, liar.
Yeah, exactly.
situation is at a stalemate. There is no more room to move. Escape of any kind has become impossible.
The guy.
The serpents of transformation and wisdom lay coiled and sleeping.
She doesn't want
Hanging
to
man is nailed to the wood of his petrified attitudes and viewpoints. His eyes are closed.
It's supposed
He
to
is
be like an
blind
AI.
to all which does not fit into the closed system of his concepts.
You're not.
Every new idea, every
You're not
new
doing
impulse is ignored or resisted.
And then I'm like,
His head is shaved.
come on,
A
like,
symbol of
you
spiritual
need to be
perception.
prepared.
In this
Well,
deck,
hey,
the priest
video on
is one
demand,
of the
so that would be-
strongest cards for balance,
You should be
equilibrium,
commercials.
and harmony. The upper half of your body expresses the feminine,
You should be
receptive.
prepared.
This is accented by the upward swinging lines and the upward pointing crescent moon behind her head. The crown is the moon which receives light from the sun. From the navel down, her body expresses the male principle. The lines are straight, dynamic, direct in purpose. The bow and arrow in her lap accentuate this concept.
At
The
this
priestess
point,
can indicate extrasensory perception and intuitive abilities such as clairvoyance, telepathy, creative visualization, empathy, intuitive knowledge, and healing powers. These abilities arise in harmony with and in service to the ultimate cosmic laws. You now have access to your intuitive powers. Develop them more fully. Guard your independence. Flowers and fruits at the bottom of the card. In the innermost reaches of your being, the more you accept yourself and share with others, the deeper the clarity of your perceptions will become, represented by the crystals. In this deck, the priestess is one of the strongest cards for balance, equilibrium, and harmony. The upper half of her body expresses the feminine receptive. This is accented by the upward swinging lines and the upward pointing crescent moons behind her head. The crown is the moon which receives light from the sun. From the navel down, her body expresses the male principle. The lines are straight, dynamic, direct in purpose. The bow and arrow in her lap accentuate this concept. The priestess can indicate extrasensory perception and intuitive abilities. You find fertile.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no supporters. So if you have the chance, please subscribe.
And thy technique is the magic of water, so that thine act is of nourishment and not of generation. Therefore, the prime use of this art is to build up thine own nature. But if thou hast skill to control the mood of the eagle, then mayst thou work many an admirable effect upon thine environment. Thou knowest how great is the fame of witch women olden without man to cause events, although they create nothing. It is this straightness of the channel which giveth force to the stream. Beware, O my son, lest thou cling overmuch to this mode of magic, for it is lesser than that other, and if thou neglect that other, then is thy danger fearful and imminent, for it is the edge of the abyss of Coronzol, where are the lonely towers of the Black Brothers. Also the formulation of the object in the eagle is by a species of intoxication, so that his nature is a dream or delirium. And thus there may be illusion. For this cause I deem it not wholly unwise if thou use this way of magic chiefly as a cordial, that is for the fortifying of thine own nature. Alchemical agents according to the four elements. De medicinis secundum quatuor elementa. Concerning the use of chemical agents, and be mindful that thou abuse them not, learn that the sacrament itself relateth to spirit, and the four elements balance thereunder in its perfection. See also thy lion himself hath a fourfold menstruum for his serpents, now to fire belong cocaine, which fortifieth the will, loosening him from bodily fatigue, morphine, which purifieth the mind, making the thought safe and slow and single, heroin, which partaketh as it seemeth of the nature of these twain aforesaid, albeit in degree less notable than either of them, and alcohol, which is food, that is fuel for the whole man. To water attribute hashish and mescal, for they make images, and they open the hidden springs of pleasure and of beauty. Morphine for its ease hath also a part in water, ere ruleth ethyl oxide, for it is a sword dividing asunder every part of thee, making easy the way of analysis, so that thou comest to learn thyself of what elements thou art compact. Lastly, of the nature of earth are the direct hypnotics, which operate by repose and restore thy strength by laying thee as a child in the arms of the Great Mother. I say rather of her material and physiological vice regent. That's on chemical agents according to the four elements. This is on the virtue of experience in this art.
de virtute experientiae in hac arte. Not sleep, not rest, not peace, not contentment are the will of the hero, but these things he hateth, and consenteth to enjoy them only with shame of his weak nature. But he will analyze himself without pity, and he will do all things soever that may free and fortify his mind and will. Know that the technique of the right use of these magic poisons is subtle, and since the nature of every man differeth from that of his fellow, there entereth idiosyncrasy, and thine experience shall be thy master in this art. Heed also this word, following the right use of these agents is to gain a knowledge preliminary of thine own powers and of thy state, so that thou goest not altogether blindly and without aim in thy quest, ignorant of the keys to thine own inner being. Also thou must work alway for a definite end, never for pleasure or for relaxation, except thou wilt as a good knight is sworn to do, and thou being hero and magician art in peril of abusing the fiery agents only, not those of earth, air, or water, because these do really work with thee in purity, making thee holy what thou wouldst be, an engine indefatigable, a mind clear, calm, and concentrated, and a heart fierce aglow. And the truth is consecrated by pure light of ecstasy. Also, as this is the strongest, so also it is the most sensitive of all things soever, and both proper and ready to take impressive will, not as a seal, passively, but with true recreation in a microcosm thereof. And this is a God alive and puissant to create, and he is a word of magic, wherein thou mayst read thyself with all thine history and all thy possibility. Also as to thine eagle, is not this chosen by nature herself by her way of attraction, without which harmony, aesthetic, and magnetic thy line is silent and inert, even as Achilles before his rage in his tent. Now also, therefore, I charge thee, O my son, to partake constantly of the sacrament, for it is proper to all virtue, and as thou dost learn to use it in perfection, thou wilt surpass all other modes of magic. Yea, in good sooth, no herb or potion is like unto this, supreme in every case, for it is the true stone of the philosophers, and the elixir and medicine of all things, the universal tincture, or menstruum of thine own will. And directing disciples, de discipulus regendis. I will have thee to know moreover, my dear son, the right art of conduct with them whom I shall give thee for initiation, and the rule thereof is one rule. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. See thou constantly to it that this be not broken, especially in the section thereof. I dare say so, which readeth mind thine own business. This is of application equally to all, and the most dangerous man or woman as hath occurred, or I err, is the busybody. Oh, how ashamed are we, and moved to indignation, seeing the sins and follies of our neighbors. All the occasions of this grievance, the most common is the desire of sex unsatisfied. And thou knowest already, even in thy young experience, how in that delirium the wheel of the whole universe appeareth of no account. Do thou then wean thy babes from that simplicity, and instill the sense of true proportion. For verily this is a way of madness, love, unless it be under will. And the cure of this madness is not so good as its prevention, so that thou shouldst be beforehand with these children, showing them the right importance of love. Exalted above personality, and a fire to enlighten and serve man, not to devour him. And certain diseases of disciples. De quibus dam morbis discipula
babe of thine be ill at ease, look closely first whether this love be not the root of his distemper. Watch also idleness. For whoso presseth eagerly forward in will, heedeth little the affairs of his fellows. O my son, if every man doth his own will, there is no more to say. But the busybody nor mindeth his own business, nor leaveth others to mind theirs. Be thou instant therefore with such an one to cure him by an enlightening as will, spending and speeding him therein. Remember also that if one speak ill of another, the fault is first of all in himself. For we know not but that which is within us. Did not the great witchfinder end by confessing that he also was a sorcerer? We become that which obsesseth us, either through extreme hate or extreme love. Knowest thou not how the one is the symbol of the other? For this reason, since love is the formula of life, we are undergone to assimilate in the end that which we fear or hate, so then we shall be wise to mold all things within ourselves in quietness and modulation. But above all, must we use all to our own end, adapting with adroitness even our weakness to the work. I'm watching for Savior and rend him until those who follow him in secret, and it may be unconsciously, prove their virtue and his wisdom by their survival when his persecutors perish in their folly. But we, being secure against all primary enemies to the individual or the common weal may nay, we must, if we would attain the summit of our race, devote all spare leisure, wealth, and energy to the creation of variation from the norm, and thus by clear knowledge, bought of experiment and of experience, move with eyes well open upon our true path. So therefore our law of Thelema is justified also of biology and social science. It is the true way of nature, the right strategy in the war of man with his environment. It is the life of his soul. Okay, this one's for you. Goddess, it's called On Monsters Demonstrate.
Okay, I want to tell you really quick something.
Okay, go ahead.
You called me your Shakira. I was in Israel once, and when I was there, I told them that was my name. You're really weird enough. That's all. Why are you so quiet?
So, the whole point of this meditation is to help you create a positive vibration, which is equilibrium and balance and stillness and silence.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on mute because I'm creating a recording over here, so I want it to have no background noise. So take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10 seconds. 10, 11, 10, 9. Okay, this is demonstrate on monsters. Sayest thou, O my son, that not thus, but by false training one cometh to perfection? This indeed is sooth, that by artificial selection in well-watched growth and environment. One hath dogs, horses, pigeons, and the like, which excel their forebears in strength and beauty and speed as one will. Yet is this work but a false magical artifice, temporary and illusion. For the masterpieces are but monsters, not true variations. And if I leave them, they revert swiftly to their own proper and authentic type, because that type was made fit by experience to its environment. So therefore, every variation must be left free to perpetuate itself or to perish, not cherished for its beauty or guarded for its appeal to thine ideal, not cut off in thy fear thereof. For the proof of its virtue lieth in the manifestation of its power to survive, amen, to reproduce itself after its kind. Nurse not the weakness of any man, nor swallow and corset him, nay, not though he were poet or artist, because of his value to thy fancy. For if thou do this, he shall increase in his infirmity, so that even his work for which thou lovest him shall be enfeebled also. Okay, this next one is called.
God does not want you to freaking believe in them. You know?
Well, see, the thing is, the founding fathers were Freemasons, and Freemasons essentially believe in love. So, I mean, it's all, the whole world operates off of love, but I think we just...
Desire.
Well, love is like a red heart, desire is a red color, but the point is, wisdom is supposedly love. So love of law is the domination of the wise. That's wisdom. I'm just saying that I don't disagree with anything you said, except the fact that maybe you don't like the fact that I could point to the Constitution as being an all or nothing document. It is an all or nothing document.
The Constitution is really good, but I heard that there was a punctuation error in regard to the statement about the pursuit of happiness.
Well,
it's really interesting.
If you read it, very slowly, and you just actually pick apart individual words and focus on those individual words, that is essentially, the more advanced level, because what you're doing is expanding the document. It would be pretty interesting to put it through an expansion tool on ChatGPT to essentially create more content off of it to help people get an expansion or more relative, positions to it, because so much of that document is transcendental. So it deals with, divine illumination, poetic words of joy. It's a document for success. So I don't know, to say that it's not something to contemplate. I mean, I just, if you want to
contemplate, I think everything is worth contemplation.
Well, it's just the ageless wisdom. So the Freemasons are just obsessed with ageless wisdom philosophy, which in many ways is anti-Pope and anti-Anglican Church. It's its own thing. So it is like a gang
every gang has their charter or their scope of work. So if you look at who founded this country, it was Freemasons. And, you know, I mean, I have many books on it. I'm not a member of Freemasonry. I'm just saying that when I read that, I see how it's a very advanced philosophy that creates a strong differentiation from other world philosophies like the Catholic Church, or the British King and the Anglican Church. I mean, Protestantism is really, I would say, pretty tightly wrapped into Freemasonry. That's my opinion. I'm trying to categorize and organize how I view history and current groups, and maybe what documents that they subscribe to or claim that they subscribe to. Because I think a lot of people just don't read anything anymore. So whatever organizations have, it doesn't even mean anything to them. It's, you know.
It's a horrible thought to think that people do not read anything anymore.
I know this girl that I went to Israel with. I was like, when was the last time you read a book? She's like, probably 2005. And she's 47. 45. I'm like, you haven't read a book in 20 years? She's like, nope. I was like, oh my gosh. To me, it's like sacred chanting. I'm trying to focus.
People are still writing books. They're still writing them.
When I chant sacred texts, I'm trying to essentially dehypnotize myself from listening to all the bullshit on this app and other platforms by going way back and using these texts to MK Ultra myself. You know, I use beer and orange juice, coffee, red wine, and cannabis, and yoga, and the gym. But I have definitely been capturing and recording myself reading these books for quite a while now. And there's just a lot of words. This book, Wisdom or Folly, is very interesting because it capitalizes a lot of proper nouns that we do not normally capitalize, like the word that. That is capitalized. Like, there's just so many capitalized words where you're just like,
I don't even know why I call this out anymore. I erased it on my phone a while ago. I put it back on a few days ago. But I'm making more YouTube videos because personally, I think that what I have to say and
is the darkness, yet as comfort is a lamp therein, that there is no error in the will, but only doubt as to the means of success. Else were we as children afeard of night, thus we have need of naught but to consider the matter by wit of reason, and of prudence, and of common sense, and of experience, and of science, adjusting ourselves so far as we may. Here is the key of success, and its name is the skill to make right use of circumstance. This then is the virtue of the mind, to be the wazzer of the will, the true counselor through intelligence of the universe. But, O my son, do thou lay this word beneath thine heart, that the mind hath no will nor right thereto, so that usurpation bringeth forth a fatal conflict in thyself. For the mind is sensitive, unstable as air, and may be led foolishly and leashed by a stronger mind that worketh as the cunning tool of a will. Therefore thy safety and defense is to hold thy mind to his right function, a faithful minister to thine own true will, that is king of that star whose name is thyself. By election of nature, heed well this, O my son, for thy mind passive is rightly a mirror to reflect all things clearly without prejudice, and to remain unstained by them. On the way of wisdom, de cursus sapientis. Therefore consider this again in a figure, that thy mind is as the marshal of an army, to observe the dispositions of the enemy, and to order his own forces rightly, according to that information. But he hath no will, only obedience to the word of his king, to outwit and to overcome the opposite. Nor doth that king make war by his own whim.
if he be wise and true, but solely because of the necessity of his country and its nature, whereof he is but executive officer and interpreter. Its voice as the marshal is its arm. Thus then do thou understand thyself, not giving place to thy mind to dispute thy will, nor through ignorance and carelessness allowing the enemy to deceive thee, nor by fear, by imprudence and foolhardiness, by hesitation and vacillation, by disorder and the lack of firm correctness, by failure in elasticity or in obstinacy, each at its moment, suffering defeat in the hour of shock. So then, O my son, this is thy work, to know the word of the will without error, and to make perfect every faculty of thy mind in right order and readiness to impose that word as law upon the universe, so mote it be. Unreason, source of madness, when not under will. Deratione quae sine voluntate est fons maniae. Is it not a marvel how he that worketh with his will and is in constant touch with the reality external maketh his mind to serve him? How eagerly runneth it and returneth, gathering, arranging, clarifying, classifying, organizing, comparing, setting in array, with skill and might and energy that faileth never. Nay, my son, in this way thou canst be pitiless with thy mind, and it will not rebel against thee, or neglect thine ordinance, but now consider him that worketh not with his will, how his mind is idle, not reaching out after reality, but debating within itself of its own affairs, like a democracy introspective. Then this mind, not reflecting, not reacting equably and with elasticity to the world, is lost in its own anarchy and civil war, so that although it work not, it is overcome by weakness of division and becometh Coronzon. And under these words I call to my witness the madness of the soul of Muscovy in this year X333, 13 of our eon that is ended. Therefore behold how this our law of Felimat do. What thou wilt is the first foundation of health, whether in the body or the mind, either of a simple or a complex organism, and truth which may not be told to a woman. De veritate quam feminae non dicere is will to love. Therefore was it said by thine uncle Wolfgang von Goethe, das ewig weiblich schickt uns hinan. But therefore also hath she no nature of truth, because she is but the eidolon of an excitement, and of a going of thy star. It appertaineth not unto its essence and stability. So then to thee she is but matter, and to her thou art but energy, and neither is competent to the formula of the other. Therefore also as thy will is itself imperfection, as they have showed thee aforetime, thou art not in the way of love, except thou be dressed in that robe of thine which thou callest woman. And thou canst not lure her to this action proper to her by thy truth. But thou shalt, as our grammar saith, assume the mask of the spirit, that thou mayst evoke it by sympathy. But thou shalt appear in thy glory only when she is in thy power, and bewildered utterly by ecstasy. This is a mystery, O my son. In of old time it was declared in the fable of Scylla and Charybdis, which are the formula of the rock and the whirlpool. Now then meditate thou strictly upon this most worthy and most adorable arcanum to thy profit and enlightenment. On the two rewards of the path, de duobus premis liae. The Let it be a treasure in thine heart, O my son, this mystery that I shall next unveil before thine eyes, O evil, that thou art undazzled by the brilliance of light that soars can.
What up, David?
Using cocaine, man.
What'd you say?
Using cocaine, man.
Hello?
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 Continually with that I'll fly to thine august inheritance. Behold the beatific visions of two orders, and in the formula of the rosy cross it is of the heart and is called beauty, but in the formula of the silver star it is of the eye within the triangle, it is of the mind and it is called wonder. Otherwise spoken, the former is of art, a sensuous and creative perception, but the latter of science, an intellectual and intelligible insight, or again in our holy Kabbalah. The one is of Tiferet, the other of Binah, and in pure philosophy. This is a contemplation of the cosmos, causal, dynamic, and that of its effect in static presentation. Now this rapture of art is a virtue or triumph of love in its most universal comprehension, but the ecstasy of science is a continual orgasm of light that is of the mind. Thou sayest, O my Father, how I may attain to this fullness and perfection. Art thou here, O my Son? It is well and blessed be the bed wherein thou wast begotten, and the womb of thy sweet mother. Hilarion, my concubine, holy and adulterous, the scarlet woman, amen.
As a matter of fact, that's also true of sculpture, but we consider the background in sculpture irrelevant because it is not something which the artist himself has created. It's the temple or museum or place in which it is shown. But when you paint, especially when you paint on a rectangular surface, instead of a surface that is shaped along with the figure, so that the outline of the figure is also the frame, when you paint, you have to put in some kind of a background. Now, if you've seen Greek or Russian icons, the background is solid gold, often emblazoned with jewels. But as time went on, painters began to put landscape in the background. Because that's the way you see people, they must be against something. And in due course, Western painters began to be fascinated with the background. And they said to the figure, move over. And then there were landscapes. But of course, the people who looked at them and weren't used to this kind of thing said, well, that's not what I call a painting. But in time, they got used to it. So used to it that, in fact, here,
Abby, I've
Okay, this is an imprudence in the teaching of the art. De prudentia arti docendi. Nevertheless, this one affliction shall touch nigh all that come to thee, and this is the great pox of sin. It is our being inherited of the ill slain gods. Look then first of all, when any postulant boweth before thee, whether there be not conflict and restriction in his mind and in his will. If it deem good and evil to be absolute instead of as relative to the health of his body, or the will of the society of which he is a member, or what not as it may be instruct him, For if he say that he will sacrifice all for initiation, correct him as it is written. But whoso give one particle of dust shall lose all in that hour. For it is conflict if he weigh one thing with another in renunciation. Being sorrowful is not worthy of acceptance, but he must with joy unite all he is in death, heaving the whole into one billow of love and will. Yea, O my son, until thou hast brought the postulant into our freedom from sin, and the sense and conviction thereof, he is not ready for the path of our magic and illumination, because every way soever is a going, and this sin is an obstacle, and a fetter, and an hoodwink on every one of them, for it is restriction, whether he set out by the meditations of the Dharma, or by our Kabbalah, or by vision or theology, or howsoever. And the mind enemy of the soul, de mente imica animo. How shall a man attain to the trance where all is one? If he yet debate within his mind concerning virtue as a thing absolute, thus, O my son, there be those that are fuddled with doubt whether meat is to be eaten. I choose this as a reference, whichever it is proper to the lion is Christ to the horse, so that his right problem is solely this, what is fitting to his own nature. Or again, I suppose that he is in vision, and an angel visiting him imparted the truth contrary to his prejudice, as it fell out in mine own case when I inhabited the body of Sir Edward Kelly, or so I do in part remember, as it seemed without be a dimly. This nevertheless is or the learned Casaubon, publishing the record of that word with the magician D, saith falsely, that an angel did declare unto Kelly the very axiom mother of our law, Thelema, in good measure and plainly, but D, afflicted by the fixity of his tenets, that one of the slave gods was wroth, and by his authority prevailed upon the other, who is indeed not wholly perfected as an instrument, or the world ready for that sowing. Consider also how in this very life I was the enemy of my own law, and wrote down the book of the law contrary to my conscious will by the virtue of obedience as a scribe, and strove constantly to escape mine own work, the utterance of my word, until by initiation I was made all one. On different works of the illuminators, de illuminatorum operibus diversi castum. Thus let thy starry profit of thy vehicle, assimilating it and sustaining it, so that it be healed of its separation, and this even in life, but most especially in death. Also thou oughtest to increase thy vehicle in mass by true growth and balance, that thou be a bridegroom, comely and well-favored, a man of might, and a warrior, worthy of the bed, so divine a dissolution, and a certain problem in the art of pleasure, de arte voluptati dilemma quaedam. Objection on my son to our thesis concerning will, that it should flow freely in its way, fidel et jet, that for such as I am it is well, because I am endowed by nature with a lust insatiable in every kind, so that the universe itself seemeth incapable to appease it. But I have poured myself out unceasingly in borderly passion, and in battles with men and with wild beasts and with mountains and deserts, and in poetry and in other writings of the music of mine imagination, and in books of our own mysteries, and in works magical and in arts plastic, and so forth. So that in mine age I am become verily a slave to mine own genius, and my law is that unless I sleep or create, my soul is sick. And fain to claim their reward, the recreation of my death. But I hear thee say it, this is not the case of all, or even of many men, but their aught of will is satisfied easily as its first guerdon. Should not then their wisdom be to resist themselves for a space, as water heaped up by a dam gathered force, and hunger feedeth upon abstinence? Also there is that which I have written in a former chapter of the right use of discipline. And thirdly, its free flowing is without subtility of art, as it were an harlot that plucketh men by the sleeve. An unraveling of this knot, de hoc modo dissolutio. Here therefore will I write down the answer to this indictment of our wisdom, that every act of will is to be made in its perfection, which state is to be attained according to these conditions. First, those of its own law. Second, those of its environment. Judge thine own case individually, each as it pleadeth. For there is no canon or code, since every star hath its own law, diverse from every other. Now there is the restraint of conflict, which is impotence and disruption, but the restraint of discipline is a fortification of the will. By repose and by preparation as a conqueror rest in his armies, and feedeth them and looketh to their furniture and to their spirit before he joineth the battle. Also there is the restraint of art, which includeth that other of discipline and its nature is to adorn the will, to admire its strength and its beauty, to enjoy its victory, by anticipation and full confidence, not fearful of time that robbeth them that are how he is but mirage and illusion, incapable to besiege the fortress of the soul. Work thou thy will, knowing, as I said beforetime, by the mouth of Eliphas Levi Zachad, thyself omnipotent, and thine habitation eternity. O my son, attend well